So I guess my question is, what's your advice around that proactive growth? Because I see people in Facebook all the time going, look, I closed 2 clients, 3 clients. I'm like, man, either they're really cheap and people are just clicking buy, or they've got some secret sauce. I don't know.
There's no secret sauce. This is a really timely question for me. And just so everybody understands, the question is, you're growing your agency. That means you have to get attention, you have to prospect, and you have to do that every day, all the time. What's the best way to do that? What's the best strategy framework to do that? Now, what's interesting about this is the way that I grew my agency until where it's at today, and then the way I'm going forward to grow my agency from here moving forward are actually different. When I grew my agency, I did a lot of demo calls. Okay, that's on the SMMA, the traditional SMMA side. It was running ads, getting referrals, just all the normal stuff that you guys have heard of. Okay. I then transferred and started doing more webinars. Now I started doing webinars when A, I got good at doing them. And then B, I had a SaaS offer that actually made it worthwhile, right? Made it actually, hey, instead of getting, because if I do a webinar and then I still got to do the demo call, this is stupid. This is pointless. I'm just spending too much time, right? So at which point in time, my webinar could convert a sale. 2 things that had to happen. 1, I had to be good at webinars. So the webinar had to be good. And then 2, I had to have an offer that fit within the framework of an actual webinar. If I'm going to end up selling a monthly retainer the same way a traditional SMMA does, I'm not going to do that with a webinar. So that's why having this SaaS offer was such a game changer for me in terms of getting volumes of clients. Okay. So that's how I did it in the past. Now, today, obviously you guys see me here in UpHex. I do a lot of this stuff and I'm having my focus here. Well, that means that my focus isn't somewhere else, which is growing my agency. I still have different things going there. From time to time, they will call me in to do a webinar, but even me doing a webinar, I just don't want to have to rely on that. Okay. So here is what I'm doing. And it's funny that you asked, Stephen. This is, like I said, this is incredibly timely. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. This is a rough draft, but you guys, I told you I was going to give you an unvarnished response to this, and I give you unvarnished responses. This is where I'm at right now. And I just started writing this, so I haven't got it. Obviously, it ends there. This is not done. But this, and anytime I do a new system in my business, by the way, I do this. I write a protocol. And I write a protocol that way it can be duplicated. Once I'm done with it and I create everything in here, I should be able to pass it off to my COO. And then I should have unless there's some clarification, I should be able to get out of this. All right. So I'm building a sales team. This is my plan of action. So the first thing, doing what we're doing right now here today, doing the Ask Me Anythings, it's not something that I thought of. It's not something that I planned on. It's something that happened kind of naturally because people were asking questions. And for those of you that have been around a while, this used to be an Ask Me Anything with me and Jacob. Okay. And then we started getting like a bifurcation of questions like sales and then building like ad campaigns. So we're like, dude, let's just separate it. I'll do the sales, you do the ad creation stuff. And so we each do our own. But the cool thing about this is you guys can come in here and we can have the experience that we're having in this moment. Like me showing you what I'm doing is a value-based thing for you. Okay. That's like, hey, you have the question. I'm already creating my plan to solve that thing. Right. So number 1, if you look at passive prospecting, right? That's what I'm talking about. So passive prospecting means in any one of these things, which by the way, you guys, if you don't have an UpHex account yet, you can go to uphex.com and get a 14-day free trial. Boom, there's my call to action. So that is something I can do. All right, now, in my agency, how do I do this? Well, I do an Ask Me Anything with an opinion leader. All right, sometimes I will do them with me, but quite frankly, I'm one of you guys, like I'm an agency person. So my credibility and the conversations that we're having is like colleagues. Okay. So I want to replicate that same thing in my agency. So I have an opinion leader in the chiropractic space. He's a 7-figure practice owner. He's awesome. He's super smart. So I said, dude, his name is Sonny. I'm like, Sonny, you got to come in and you got to do 2 of these a month for me. Come in, people can ask you anything. Would you do that? He's like, dude, I'll do it. Sweet. So he's going to do ask me anythings, and I will structure it the same way that I structure this. Okay. Now I have another person. Her name is Jen. She runs our calling center service thing. She used to manage an office. She's going to do the other 2 weeks. So every Friday or every whatever day it is, we're going to be doing something that is just like jam-packed full of value, stuff that they would have to pay for. You guys normally for this kind of information would pay for this kind of quote coaching. Okay. So that's like the foundation. Okay. So I have something like that going. That way, anything I do in the selling arena after is easy. Okay. Now, then it gets to like, okay, well, Sam, I can't control, like today, I can't control. Actually, let's just get a show of hands. How many of you are, I'm going to go to participants, see if I can see it. And don't feel bashful, it's totally fine, are not UpHex users. Give me a show of emoji hands. All right, so we got 1. Okay, we got 4. Okay, so there's 4 of you. Awesome. I have no control over whether or not you 4 start an UpHex trial right now, but I don't care because I'm building the foundation. All right. At some point in time, you guys will be like, okay, I see how this fits in my business. And if it doesn't, then you can't be a client anyway. So it doesn't matter, right? I see how this fits in my business. Boom. Now I'm going to do the trial. Boom. Now I'm a paid user. Boom. Now we both win. But I can't sit back growing my agency and just say, all I'm going to do are these. So that's why I have all of these here. Okay. You guys have heard me, people ask me about cold video outreach. Stephen did not ask me this question before. This is unprompted. I'm going to do cold video outreach just like I tell you guys to do it. And it says see protocol here, right? I already have it done, but I'll link it. That way my team will go through and they'll see it, right? Direct DMs. I'll have a strategy for that. Cold email. Okay. Workshop follow-ups. Dude, how many people? So Sonny is going to hold these workshops. Guess what I'm going to do? They're going to be required to register for them. What is a registration? A lead. It's a lead. So every single week, I'm getting a fresh batch of leads. All right. So when you said, is there a magical solution? Is there a magic? No, there's not. I'm going to do these things, but I'm going to do the passive prospecting. I'm going to do that every single week. And the proactive prospecting, I'm going to do that every single day. That's all you can do. And as long as you have a good product and a good offer, then you will win. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, the passive prospecting is interesting. So I do the email. Video is not something I do, and it's something that is right on my list. I've got more video tools. I don't think I need to integrate it with Go High Level, although I'd like to, but it's one that I'm kind of going, it gets more attention than cold emails. But passive prospecting and what you talk about there is interesting because I do AMAs, I do like Fail Fridays, but they're for my coaching clients. And what I've been thinking about is actually I should probably pivot and move that stuff to prospects and clients.
Put it to everyone.
Yeah, like I do a monthly accountability call and it's group. So I'm not trading time for money. So what's interesting hearing you say that is I'm doing these things, but actually I should be opening that up more because it still scales.
Yeah.
So no, I appreciate that. Yeah. And you didn't pay me to ask that question.
Yeah, no. And it's incredibly timely by the way, when that whole protocol gets done, and I haven't filled out the closer because I'll have a closer as well, a closer that's going to go through and do the cold prospecting. I'm going to have 1 to 3 people that are doing cold video outreaches every single day. And that's going to be their job. They're not closers. They're just going to be doing outreach every single day. And then I'll have one closer.
Yeah, in my world, that's like you'd have their SDRs and then I'd have a BDM that would
setter
be
closer.
Yep. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I get that.